So it's time again to play around in the kitchen where we teach you, we motivate you, because I truly believe there's nobody who's a bad cook. You're watching the menu with me, Dalsifa Zaimundekwa. Join me right now as I'm making some crunchy, delicious chicken. So for this, what I need is just some chicken wings. But you can actually use whichever chicken pieces you like. I love the wings, so I get that from the supermarket. I've got my chicken spices. Now, if you don't have what we tell you right here on this show, it's okay to use whatever is in your cupboard, right? But I'm going to be using some chicken spices. I'm going to be using a bit of sugar, some flour, some water. I know chicken is everybody's favorite. This is why you always go out for takeaways for that beautiful, crispy, crunchy chicken. But I'm going to teach you how to make it in the comfort of your own home. So everybody goes out for some crunchy chicken wings. But the good thing is you can make this in the comfort of your own home. This is all you need to do. Get some chicken wings or breasts. If you're going to be using some drumsticks, that's still fine. I just remove the wingy thingy. I don't know what you call that. And then cut it again in half. So I'll do this with all my wings so that I have a beautiful bite size. This is perfect if you're going to be having visitors around. Right. So now I've got 3 portions. Although this, you don't need to be serving your visitors. This is for you to taste the spices, you know. You can't really serve people food that you haven't tasted, can you? And if you start on these wings, you are going to finish them all. So again, in half. So I'll do the rest. While doing this, I've got some boiling water here. After cutting them in half, I'll put them in here and with a bit of spices. We are making those crunchy, beautiful pieces of chicken. So what I just did, I cut my chicken into pieces. These were wings, and I cut them into 3. Now I'm putting them in a pot of boiling water. Right? So I have my chicken in here in boiling water. I'm going to be adding in some chicken spice, barbecue, ginger, lemon and herb. Any sort of chicken spice that you have on hand, it's perfect. Now, all you need to do now is close the lid. I love that crunchy chicken that we go out for. So I decided to make this for myself at home. So now my chicken has boiled, as you can see, with all the beautiful spices. Now I'll put this in a plate and then let it cool down for a minute or 2 while I make the butter. Okay, this looks perfect. Right, I need to show you how to make a butter. You know what gives the crispiness on the chicken? What gives that crunchiness is a butter. But when I'm talking about butter, I'm not talking about the margarine sort of butter. This is where you add your flour, your spices, a bit of sugar, a bit of salt, and then some water. And then dip your chicken wings in there. So let me just grab my pan. And when the oil is heating in here, I'm going to be making this beautiful butter with flour, plain flour. But if you've got self-raising, it's still fine. I used about 2 cups, right? Okay, I also need some spices. But remember, I used some garlic, some chicken spice, some barbecue, some ginger when I was boiling my chicken. So I need to do exactly the same spices in here, in my spice rub. This is where, when you're tasting your chicken, it shouldn't be different when you eat the skin, and then when you get inside the chicken, it's a different taste. It should have a flow. So the same spices go in, but this time put a little bit more. Right. Some salt again, I added in there. A bit of sugar. Just about a teaspoon of sugar. Right. This is looking good. Flour, spices. Remember I said I used some chicken spices, some garlic. So I'm making a butter. And a butter is just simply flour, spices, some salt. I added about a teaspoon of sugar, and now I'm going to be adding some water. Now, you need enough water to make a smooth paste. Just mix it. I don't mind the lumps too much, but I want it to be smooth. Right, I need some more water. I know somebody's asking, how much water do you need? Now, it truly depends, because all we need is a smooth batter. I'll show you just in a minute what we need. So you keep mixing. It shouldn't be too watery. It should be able to coat the back of your spoon. Let me show you what that means. And this is what gives that crunchy, crispy effect that you go out for. You know, every time you're going out, let's go out, guys. This is what you're looking for. So now you say, let's go in, guys, because you're going to your kitchen. Yeah. So I made a butter. Can you see the consistency? I want you to look at that. It's thick. It's not too runny. I don't like my butter too runny because I want a thick, you know, crumb on the outside. And here my oil is heating. So I want it to come up to sort of a high medium heat while I soak. Wait and watch this. Just dunk this in there. Right. And then give it a toss. Huh? In the butter. You know, I've got a joke where I say to somebody, use a butter for your chicken. And then they said, but where's the butter? Huh? They thought I was talking about something in the margarine family. But no, this is just flour. I love this. This is looking good. Now, you can actually add an egg in there if you like. But if you don't eat eggs, it's perfect like this. So, just let it marinate while your oil heats, and then we'll start to fry it in about a minute or so. So I've made a batter with spices, flour, and now I'm adding in my chicken. I coated it into the pan, hot oil. This looks amazing. Okay. So I've got a couple of pieces in here because this really goes fast in my place. What? So this needs about 2 or 3 minutes on each side. And then you've got a crunchy, yum, 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 yum sort of chicken. I'm making a buttered chicken. The one reason people go out every time to grab some food, some fast food. So in here, I have flour, some spices, chicken spices, whichever spices you have on hand, some garlic, salt, a bit of sugar, just a touch. Now, I'm just going to dunk this into hot oil. Right, that looks beautiful. You can see how it's properly coated, eh? That's the coating that's going to give you that crunchiness we're looking for. Right. So these are just chicken wings that I dunk into hot oil. You can use chicken breast, you can use thighs or drumsticks, but wings are my favorite, okay? So yeah, in goes. You can use the leftover butter. Just store it in a container in the fridge. You can keep about 2 to 3 months. Yum, yum. Yeah. So if you've got some splatter, you can see the oil is splattering. You can just tilt the pan away from you so that you don't burn your hands. That's a tip you need to keep. Just turn the pan away from you like that. And then let it do its thing now. I can see the golden color. It's actually looking nice and yum. I've got other pieces that I just pre-made before because my house, this chicken just goes like that. Okay, so I'll be back in a minute to show you how to plate this. Right, so I'm making my buttered chicken. I've got some pieces that I made earlier. And in here, these are looking beautiful. They look done. So I'll just put my pan away from the stove. Okay. Allow it to just settle, because when you dip your hands in there, you might just bend, even though you're going to be using a fork. So I'm taking this out. Now, this plate has got a paper towel, just to absorb the excess oil. We don't want that oil on our chicken, So the paper towel absorbs it. If you do not have a paper towel, you can use a kaki cover. Yep, those that you know. And then you can actually use that strainer, you know, that wire thingy that comes with pots. It's perfect again. I can see some very hungry looking faces. They're salivating at my chicken. The goldenness, the deliciousness of this chicken. Now, instead of going out, people are going to be coming into your kitchen. This is how we do it right here on the menu. So the last piece comes out. Okay. So this is done. So what do you need? A juice to go with this chicken. So join me in the next segment as I show you how to make a delicious strawberry juice to just go with our chicken. So in the first segment, I did some crunchy chicken, some buttered chicken, you know, that juicy, buttered, crunchy deliciousness we go out for the takeaways for. And now I decided to pair it with a juice. Now for this juice, I'll need some strawberries. I need some cold water. I need some very, very ice cold water. As you can see in this glass, it's nice and frosty. I also need some sugar and some strawberries. What do I need to do now? In a pot, add in your sugar. This is about half a cup of sugar. An equal amount. Now, this is an equal amount of water, meaning I used half a cup of sugar. It's also half a cup of water. Now, let this boil. Let the sugar dissolve. In the meanwhile, I've got some strawberries here. Just about half a cup. Give it a swirl. Don't mix it, just a swirl. Let it dissolve. I've got a grater. You know, it's got so many parts on it. I'm trying to use this very, very tiny portion of the grater. And if you don't have this grater, what you could do is blend it in a blender. Now, because some people don't have blenders, they'll think, I can't do this juice because I don't have a blender. It's not about the blender. It's just about having very small crushed pieces of strawberry. You could also use a fork. Just try to mash it as much as possible, but I'll be using the smaller portion of my grater. Can you see? I'm just having that juice coming out and that mash. Okay. This is also looking good. So the moment it melts, I'll just remove this and then let it cool down. Again, I'm just mashing my strawberries really. There's nothing fancy I'm doing to this. I'm just trying to have that strawberry juice and then a bit of strawberries in there. Right. Use a food processor if you will, but if you go to the kumusha kunana gogo, please. You don't say, but gogo, I can't make your juice. Just like my daughter would do, no. We try to have everybody in all walks of life, all around Zimbabwe, to enjoy it. Despite electricity, despite urban or rural, you can actually grow the strawberries in your garden. Right, so this is looking perfect. The sugar has melted. I'm just going to let this sit just beside me. I need it just in a minute. Right, switch off your stove because I'm not going to be needing that anymore. Continue with my strawberries. I think this is the last one. And you can see I've got some strawberry juices. That's all I'm looking for. Let me just grab a spoon. Perfect. Look, this is a kitchen. You can always have those sounds going on in the kitchen. Again, the back of my strainer. That looks perfect. So I'm making a strawberry juice to go with my beautiful, beautiful crunchy chicken. What I did, I grated my strawberries and now I've got that smooth sort of paste. And then in here, I've got some sugar. I'll show you how to frost the top of your glass, just like they do in the restaurants. Okay, just the tips of the strawberries. I just want you to have that same strawberry flavor as you put your mouth towards the water glass. Right, then invert it onto a plate with sugar. This is just plain sugar, the same sugar you use for your tea. I'm just inverting it. Then give it a swirl. Then you've got a beautiful frosted glass. Now this is ready for my juice. So what do I need to do now? The crushed strawberries, they go in there. Right. I need about half a cup of that sugar syrup. Right. Now, because it's so thick and it's a sugar syrup, this becomes too sugary. Add 1 tall glass of very cold water. That looks perfect. I can see my strawberries. Now, somebody might want to strain away those strawberries that are floating in there, but I like to keep mine in there. So, let me just take this away. Okay, looks perfect. And then, I'm just going to take a strawberry, put it on the rim there, take a straw or just have it as it is. But for now, let me just put this in the fridge, let it chill, and then we'll do something else to complete this whole setup. Now, every time I'm thinking of pairing something, especially when it's chicken, you know, sometimes I get tired of having my chicken with French fries or fresh chips, as it were. I try to look for things that I can do with the same potato so that I have that same great potato and chicken taste. So right now, I'm going to show you how to make a hash brown using some semolina. Right, to do this, I need about half a cup of semolina. I need 1 onion. I also need a grated potato. That's all you need. Very simple, very easy. If you then like, you can add in some garlic, some ginger, some spices. But sometimes you don't just want to over marinate the stuff. You want the goodness, the freshness. Okay, so first of all, my potato, then I peel it. Yes, you can actually peel a potato without a peeler, people. Yeah. In as much as we are so modern, the old techniques still work perfectly. All right, so I'm just grating this in a moment after peeling it. Right, I'm just removing the skins. So I've removed the skins from there. I also need to remove the skin of my potato, of my onion. This is an onion. I'm so obsessed with potatoes. I love them. Yep. Right, so I decided to use some semolina, high in protein. So you've got a protein component with your carbohydrate. I'm making some hash to serve with my chicken. What I decided to do is just to have a pan with oil, and then I'll be grating this. This is just potato, onion. I'll add in some semolina, a bit of garlic powder. Now, grate this very finely. Now, half an onion. I think that's enough. We don't want to waste. Everything I grated, I want in my pot. Right. What I need to do now is put in some semolina. It's a flour sort of from wheat. Add it in there to bind. I'm not going to use an egg because while I was grating, there was a lot of juices that was coming out of my potatoes and onions. In goes my semolina. Right. Some garlic powder. Okay, so this garlic powder is already salted. It's a salted garlic powder. So I'm not going to be adding in some more salt. Okay, so let me just mix this. A good toss. Now, if your potatoes are dry, this is when you need to add in maybe an egg to help binding again. That looks okay. Now, depending on how big you want your hashes to be, you can actually use a tablespoon. I need about 3 dollops. Right. Please do not turn them. Do not feel tempted to turn them until they're golden brown. because they might just disintegrate, and we don't want that at all. Right, another one. Right, that looks perfect. I've just made some hash browns. This is just grated potato, grated onions. I added in some semolina. Now this is a wheat flour, and then it's high in protein. Now I'm turning them. As you can see, they're beautiful golden color. This is what we call a hash. I know some people would want to add in some eggs, which is perfectly fine, but I had my grated potatoes and they were juicy, so I didn't need any more binding agents. Right, now onto a paper towel, always to grab that excess oil. This is a serving for one person, so if there are about 3, that will be fine. Let me just let this go for a minute or 2. I can actually smell the onion, the flavoring of the onion, and it gives it that beautiful tanginess. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, time to turn this one. So, just in a pan of oil. So remember, you can actually make hash browns if you've got leftover mashed potatoes, or if you've got leftover boiled potatoes, mash them, add in your favorite spices. You can actually add in some carrots if you like, and then an egg if it's too dry, especially if you've boiled it before, they become dry. You need that egg to sort of help in the binding. If you do not have semolina, you can actually use the normal plain flour. Okay, so this looks perfect and it's coming out. Onto my paper towel to complete this. Okay, so this looks perfect. Start off, pans aside. In this episode, what I did was some crunchy chicken. What I used, a butter, and I also did beautiful hash, which is just grated potatoes and onions, and then I just put some semolina, fry that into this beautiful hash, and then we did a strawberry juice. So let me show you how to plate this. In here, I've got some sweet chili sauce. So what I'll do, just take a dollop with your tablespoon or teaspoon, and then just with the back of the spoon to give you that beautiful restaurant-y effect. Right, that goes aside. Now, I'll take my hash browns. Now you need to remove them from the paper towel. This was to absorb all that extra oil onto the plate. Just like that. I've got a little tiny mini hash. I put it again with my plate. Now, my plate is looking very yellow, orange. I need a bit of color as well. I need some green. So, I've got some parsley leaves just at the edge of my plate to just decorate that. We need the extra greenness. Okay, and then to give it an extra touch, just maybe one. Oh, it's not coming out as I'd want to. Okay, let's try that again. Final try is a charm. Okay, so this goes aside, and then I'll show you how to plate the chicken. We also did a chicken with some butter. I'm also draining it on a paper towel, just like I did with my hash. Now, it's time to remove from the paper towel onto a clean plate. You know, the plates give that wow effect. So try to have just a beautiful set of plates. Okay. In there, that beautiful crunchy chicken. Now, this is the sort of chicken that's very hard to serve because actually you want to finish it when you're cooking it. Okay. Just a few more pieces. I'm just going to use the layering effect. Put it on top. This looks amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing pieces of chicken. Right. Now, you don't need to go for a takeaway. You now need to go for a take-in. You come into your house, serve this to your guests. I tell you, your house will be the new takeaway place. Okay. Because I also have a bit of green in there, I also need something to garnish. Again, the same effect. Just play around with it. Just everywhere in my plate. Okay? Just right round. So you can actually grow this in your garden, or you can find it in your supermarkets where you find your vegetables. Right, I'm loving the sprigs of color. It's coming together pretty well. Okay, so now I need to grab my juice from the freezer and then I'll show you how to finish this all off. I know a lot of people don't like to have some floating things in their juices. What you can actually do is take a strainer, and when you're putting it in here, strain it and then have a smooth juice. And then just top that with a strawberry, and then you have that restaurant standard in the comfort of your own home.